It's One Cast, One Fish, and today I'm going to talk to you about what quite possibly could be one of the worst features and what you can do to fix it on your Penn Slammer 3 fishing reels. The Penn Slammer 3 fishing reels come in a huge lineup of different sizes, all the way from a small 3500 series reel up to a massive 10,500 series. Now the issue I want to talk about only affects the 3500, 4500, and 5500 series reels. And that has to do with this, the automatic bail close feature. Now if you're researching the Penn Slammer 3 fishing reel, I'm sure you've come across the complaint about the bail prematurely closing on the 35, 45, or 5500 series reels. That complaint's usually followed up by a loud snap of the line, followed by your $20, $30 plug flying way out into the drink, never to be seen again. Now I'm going to show you the easy steps to remove the automatic bail closing feature on your 3500, 4500, or 5500 series Penn Slammer 3 fishing reels so you don't become a premature bail closing statistic. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the Penn website and download the schematic for your Penn Slammer 3 fishing reel. Once you have the schematic downloaded, you're going to look for part 1 Echo, which is the body slope. This is the part we're going to be removing to get rid of the automatic bail trip feature. Start by turning your drag counterclockwise to loosen it until the spool is able to easily come off. Now as we remove this click gear and washers, we want to ensure that we take and put everything to the side in the exact order that it came off, so that way there it makes reassembly a whole lot easier. Now we have 3 small screws to remove for the rotor nut locking plate. Once those screws are loose, the rotor nut locking plate should be able to be removed. This will expose the seal and the rotor locking nut. Now we're going to remove the rotor locking nut, being careful not to damage the seal. Again, it's going to be important that we keep all the parts in exactly the same order they came off to make reassembly easier. Once the locking nut's removed, we're going to carefully remove the rotor, ensuring to keep everything in order as we want to put it back the exact same way it came off. If we look real close, we'll be able to see part 1 Echo, which is the body slope. This is the part we'll be removing to get rid of the automatic bail trip feature. To remove the body slope, there's only one small screw that needs to be removed. Once the screw is removed, the body slope should come right off, and that there is the part that we're removing to get rid of the automatic bail trip feature. Now what I like to do is I like to put that screw that came off the body slope right back where it came from. Once our screw is reinstalled, we're going to start putting things back together. Next we'll reinstall our rotor, which should slide into place. Just like so. Slide this piece back into place here. And now we'll be ready to put on our locking nut. Now again, when we reinstall this locking nut, be sure to be careful to not damage any of the seals. And we want to start tightening that up by hand, just like so. Now once that locking nut's hand tight, we're going to go back with the wrench and just give it a little bit of a turn to make sure it's nice and snugged up there. Now it's time to reinstall the rotor nut locking plate. Again, this is going to be just those 3 small screws that need to be tightened back up. Now we'll go back with the click gear, but first I want to make sure we install any of the washers that we took off in the exact same order that they came off. Once the washers are in place, we're going to go back with the click gear. Make sure everything's slid down all the way and all those washers are set in place. Now we're going to install the spool and go clockwise on the drag to tighten it. Now we're going to perform a quick functional check and make sure everything feels smooth on the reel and everything's working properly. And most importantly, we want to make sure that that automatic bail trip feature is indeed disabled, which as we can see it is. So now you're going to have to manually close the bail back every time you cast to take and reel in your line. With the automatic bail trip feature removed, your Penn Slammer 35, 45, or 5500 is going to function just like its big brothers with the manual bail. This should ensure that you don't become another Penn Slammer 3 premature bail trip statistic, resulting in the loss of your expensive fishing lures. I hope you found this video useful. Be sure to put any comments or questions down below. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button as it will be greatly appreciated. And we'll see you next time on the water.